A question that I've been wanting, what happens if we choose to come and women, we get pregnant and we have an abortion? So what happens?
To what?
To the,
what perspective are you trying to focus on?
If the baby is not born, because I had an abortion, so what happens with that energy?
We don't want anybody to find any reason to be offended about what we're going to say next, because we're going to put this in a context that's going to make you feel clarity about it, and we'll talk it over until you've found your place in it. But that's like saying, I started to think about that, and then that got my attention, and I thought about that. So what happened to that? What happened to that thought that I didn't continue to think about? Abraham, really? You're going to compare that to that? Yeah? What happened to that? Every thought that has ever been thought still exists. There is no ending to anything. But something that we would like to say about consciousness and consciousness coming forward is that there's a whole lot going on in consciousness as babies are becoming in the womb. There's a lot that's happening in terms of that coming together. And so someone who has accomplished the physical experience that is beginning the creation of this physical fetus, the fetus is getting its expansion and what it needs from the vibration and the intentions of the mother. And the consciousness, in the way that you mean consciousness, doesn't enter that physical body until it takes its first breath. And so there is no one in non-physical. They're not sitting around in groups. What? You didn't get your body? No. She crapped out on me. I played the sexy music and got her all excited, and I hooked her up with a really good meal, and she was going along, and conception happened, woohoo, and then she changed her damn mind. There's no conversation like that going on in non-physical. Nothing like that is going on in non-physical. There is consciousness following paths of least resistance. And we don't want to minimize this. Oh, being in physical form is just such a delicious, wonderful thing. But you create your own reality. And there isn't anyone that is holding you responsible for the creation of their reality. It either is this way or it isn't this way. And it is this way and it is always this way. That would imply that if there's a consciousness who has decided that it wants a physical avenue, and for whatever reason you decide that it's not going to be you, that it then has no avenue. That sounds like you create the reality of someone else, and you do not. There is always a path of least resistance. There's always a way. If there is a desire, there's always a way, you see. But humans who want to control other humans find all kinds of things that they know they can get you to be sensitive about, and then they make rules about things, and they get you to worry about things, and they try to control you through things that don't feel good. And we're just asking you to just ask your inner being about these things. Inner being, what do you think about this? And this is the most important thing that we could say to you or anyone who's worried about something like this. The fact or the experience of feeling negative emotion, if you think about it, has to be proof of the existence of your inner being and of a different thought. If you can feel negative emotion, that means you're depriving yourself of something. So if in the moment of the negative emotion, you will ask yourself what thought you're thinking, and then you will ask your inner being what thought your inner being is thinking, you'll realize your inner being is not thinking the thought you were thinking. You see what we're getting at? It's a wonderful way to come to the realization of what your inner being knows about these things. One of the things that happens is you come to a gathering like this or any event, and there's someone making a presentation, and Esther gets all full of herself and all full of us and finds energy streams of thoughts and presents things in ways that are compelling and interesting and ways that you find harmonics in, you feel resonance in. And yet, even with all of the fun we have and the wisdom that is imparted and the resonance that you feel, you still could say, especially on topics where you have believed otherwise for a while, like this one, that this could be just another opinion. And what if it is just another opinion? And this other opinion, is it true or is it not true? And here's what we want you to consider about this. If you will take the time to show yourself through meditation or through appreciation or whatever way you find that you can release your resistance and that you can find not just resonance with your inner being, but consistent connection with your inner being, to the point that you actually know that you're being inspired to thoughts and impulses and actions that then begin to manifest in ways that you've desired or that you've intended, then you know firsthand your relationship with non-physical energy. We're really asking you, and this may sound odd to you, we're asking you not to take anybody's word for anything, including the words that you hear here. We want you to feel the resonance that you feel as you move around your world, and we want you to conceptually get it, that law of attraction abounds and that you have an inner being, but we want you to show yourself your relationship with your inner being. Because what anybody else says about their relationship with their inner being is really not very meaningful to you. And anything that you've figured out without your inner being isn't that meaningful to you either. But what you start finding out, what life starts showing you, when you know for sure that you are in connection with your source energy, will feed you and uplift you and give you that knowledge of your worthiness and your blessedness and your value. And once you hook in with that, once you know the power and the rightness and the goodness of who you are, and you expect that connection often, then you're not like so much of the world scrambling around trying to sort people into piles and decide which piles are right and wrong. Then you are a lover of all of the piles. Then you are a lover of all of the people. Then you are an uplifter of everyone. Then you are being who you were born to be, you see. You didn't come as vulnerable, insecure beings. You came as powerful, knowing creators, and you've lost that edge a little bit as you've let others take the place of your inner being for a little while. But now we've had this conversation, you're going to be less likely to do that. And as you feel the resonance of your inner being, your stability and your own autonomy and your own empowerment is going to return in such a way that it will be as if it has never been gone. And then you can really get on with living life the way you intended to live life. And as you greet others, you'll see them in varying degrees of connection and in varying degrees of understanding. But you won't be a teacher all balled up with this passion that you've got to inform them or they can't make it, because they don't need to know what you know in order to live their lives. The mix of all of it is intended. There is so much intentionality from non-physical that to begin to assign non-physical intentionality to physical gets you all balled up. When we were talking to our friend, such a powerful conversation about the composer who found his alignment and composed something truly magnificent, who never stopped improving the composition. We really want you to understand that that's what the joy of life is. We never get it done. We never stop reaching for an improvement, because the improvement is the more, and the more is what is natural to all of us. We want to bring this gathering to a simple close. We want to step back from the complication that this many words has caused or generated. And we want to step back into the premises that you knew when you decided to come and that you felt powerfully along the way. And these are the premises that we know for sure will help you be more likely to live happily ever after as you move forward. So here they are. We're just going to stream them to you. First, there's nothing serious going on here. Meaning that there isn't anything that you're supposed to do that you're not doing, or anything that you are doing that you shouldn't be doing. This is all your way of you deciphering what you're putting into your vortex, and it's all exactly as you planned it to be. Next, you do have a vortex. You have created a vibrational reality that is in the process of becoming. And interestingly, it's becoming even without your even knowing that it exists or your awareness of it. It is becoming. But the more of it that becomes without your awareness, the less benefit you personally get from it right now. Oh, you'll get benefit from it when you croak. We like to be disrespectful of death since there isn't any. And future generations benefit from it. But the benefit that you receive from your expanding vortex can only be received by you when you find a way to find resonance with what's there. And what's there is love. What's there is giving people the benefit of the doubt. What's there is pure positive energy. What's there is absence of resistance. Well, how are you going to know? How are you going to ever get to the place of no resistance if you don't taste resistance and know what it tastes like? And how are you going to know when you've let some of it go if you haven't had it? Isn't that relationship an important thing? So that's where your knowledge of your inner being comes in. Oh, so my inner being flows with me, but maintains steady connection to source no matter what. Yes. And sometimes I don't. That's true. And when I don't, I'm bad. That's not true. And when I don't, I can't get back. That's not true either. When I don't feel good. That's true. When I don't feel good, I'm always going to not feel good. That's not true. When I don't feel good, I want more than ever to feel good. That's true. When I want more than ever to feel good, more energy flows. That's true. When I want more than ever to feel good, I'm asking in a stronger way. That's true. When I ask in a stronger way, Source answers in a stronger way. That's true. When Source answers in a stronger way, I'm more likely to hear. That's not true. Louder doesn't make it easier. Your inner being knowing the answers doesn't make it easier. All that happens is that your desire to feel good gets greater and greater every time you don't feel good. Oh, that's a simple premise. If I don't feel good, I want to feel good. And here's the part that you keep leaving out of the equation. It's right that you feel good. And it's good that you feel good. And there's no price for you to pay in feeling good. You just got to know it and practice it and get good at feeling good. And the better you are at feeling good, the more others will say, hey, you look like you feel good. And you'll say, I do. And they'll say, what's your secret to feeling good? And you'll say, I gave myself permission to feel good. And I stopped holding myself hostage based upon what everybody else thought good was. I found something central. I think I found God. I think I found Source. And I found out that Source likes me. So I decided to let myself like me. It wasn't easy at first. I had a lot of rules that were keeping me from it, but I just monkeyed around with it, played around with it until I can feel when I feel good and I like it. And I think that the reason I like it is because Source likes it. And so, there you are. We've enjoyed this interaction more than these words can explain. Be playful about this because there isn't anything serious going on here. There's just you living happily ever after and us enjoying it while you do it. There is great love here for you. And for now, we are complete.